Hello, my name is Serrano Keith Baldew, and welcome to Texas Justice Review. Today, we're going to find out how, in God's name, this lawyer racked up $70,000 in a very small family court case. That's 70 with a 70, comma, 000 dot, or is it comma, 000, $70,000 in a very small family court case. And this is a lawyer who's been about 33 years in the business and knows every trick in the book. But she's been doing this for a very long time. And the problem that we have with lawyers like this is that when the other lawyers find out or see that they're jacking up fees, they don't really go after them because lawyers do not sue lawyers. It's just the way it is. Unless a client is willing to spend that kind of money to sue them for fraud and misrepresentation. And we'll get to all the legal stuff as why they can't do this. Attorneys, judges, and others feel that they've got a get out of jail free card and they can continue to break the law and violate the rules, and they're going to hide behind the wall of immunity. Well, no, it doesn't work that way. So her name is Victoria G. Warner, and she's from Rowlett. She came to Dallas because she was hired to take on a family law case. From the beginning, she was sent an 8-page letter saying, look, here's what happened. No, the husband really didn't do anything. That wife wants to run off, and just explaining everything. The husband gave up his entire life for her. Just kind of like, hey, just have some mercy here. We don't want to go to court. So if we start off telling this lady, you don't want to go to court, in an 8-page letter, how is it she got $70,000 out of this case? So here's what happens. I'm just going to go through. This is something that you do in court. You have to give up some kind of appraisal. And within the appraisal, when she submitted the appraisal, which is really illegal. This was really illegal. So it all starts here. I'm going to show you. This is just unbelievable. The financing. I had it in another. So here it starts. This is all financing. 400, 400, 400 by like 20. 400, 400 by 20, 125. I mean, it's just like 15 to 20 per page. This is just fees racked up almost every week. And 400, like 15 to 18, another 400 and 125. Just keep racking it up. Look at this stuff. Just 400 to 125 per page. It just goes on and on and on. It's a small divorce, but she got $70,000 out of it. And we're going to go through this. I'm going to show you how she did it. But today I want to show you, even on the trial, the last date was the trial. This is still going, 425. So the last day of the trial, apparently, she had, I want to go back to the trial. Okay, so the trial was 11 and 12. It was 1,600 and 2,400. But somehow she billed on the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th, 3,200, 3,200, 3,200, 1,000 for her assistant, 1,000 for her assistant. A jury trial at 3,200, but that jury trial was already charged already. So I don't know if she overcharged, but $70,000. And let me tell you what the case is about. It's a small family case. Some furnitures, 3 cats, a house. But there was a chunk of money hidden that she didn't want the judge and anybody didn't owe her, the spouse, to know about. I'm not going to tell you who the spouse is just yet. You're going to be surprised. So there was a motion because the husband knew there was a giant chunk of money hiding. And the attorney, now you have, the client has to, the wife has to disclose to the attorney she hired how much money you have. If the wife tells the attorney, look, I've got like $4,000 in my bank account, case is done. Settle, give him half, go your way. But if the wife said, oh, well, let's throw in a number like maybe $800,000, just a figure. So the attorney now sees $800,000. So she's got to find a way to milk as much as that. She's now got a cash cow. She's looking to milk that cash cow. So the husband did a motion to audit because he said that there was a, I want to read something in here. He's looking for the personal, he knows how much money's in there. So he's asking for the personal funds, savings, stocks, investment, cash, joint account, property, loans, etc. All funds since they were married since 2029 to date. To deny this motion is to deny fairness. Previously, the husband petitioned this court to stay a mediation, introduce evidence unreasonable to prolong this case to trial, and demanded that violates the state law and division of property. So what was happening is the money was hidden. So everything is really simple. 3 cats, she gets 2, he gets 1. Some property, just not a lot of property. Just, she was living, she just wants a couch and a couple of things. That's done. And then so the cat's the property and the house. That's it. That's divided. A family court judge already knows what to do. But they had a criminal court assignment judge put into this case. The judge, we're going to get to him, Judge Ray Wheeler, grabbed the case off a line, which was illegal, and gave it to a criminal court case. Okay, so he's saying, is requesting the court oversees the family case and funds, is requesting an audit for the finances of the family community funds for this, and there's a name. So he makes an application for the funds. And so this lawyer gives a response. And the response never denies, like let's just say it was $800,000 3 years ago, before the divorce, it's now $1 million. She never denies, she did an objection to motion to stay and the discovery motion for audit. So she's objecting to his motion for audit. She never said there was $800,000, there was no $800,000, or there was no $1 million hiding. She just says, we just did a full disclosure, we told him everything we got, but what about the money he's asking about? They never addressed it. And when you don't address that money, you got that money. So they never said, look, there is no 800, there is no $1 million hiding. Didn't say that because she knows if that money is found, she's going to go to jail, her client's going to go to jail, right? So she was very careful to say, we did a general denial, right? Didn't address it. So if you didn't address it, it exists. So what was happening in the beginning of the case, and I'm going to give you a little snippet of what she did. Let's remove her and I'm going to bring her some laws here that, let's see. Okay, so there are laws, and in family court, if you're in Texas, and you're getting a divorce in family court, another court, the court gives instructions, and it has a standing order that the court gives. And in the standing order, and you can see this maybe in post, or maybe if I don't do post, you can see it. I'm going to blow this up and show you. It says, none of the spouse to make expenditures or incur in debt of reasonable attorney's fees. Reasonable attorney's fees. So you have to make reasonable attorney's fees, not $70,000, right? So this goes on. There's a lot of stuff in here. There's a lot of stuff. Number 10, the judge cannot interfere. Now, this judge is a criminal court judge. He gets a case because he's got to meet a quota, right? It says, let me put this right in here. The parties are encouraged to settle the dispute without the court's intervention. That means this attorney is not supposed to be running back to court every 5 minutes and filing motions and filing this and filing that. And then the husband has to respond to these things because he's scared crapless that if they file these things, he's got to respond. If he doesn't respond, she's going to get all these orders. She's going to take everything away from him, which she already did. and because you have an appropriate judge that is illegal on the case, and he's doing whatever he wants. He's not going by law. He's going by his personal emotions. And so here's how part of how the attorney did this. There's other things I want to read here from the standing order, but it's not appropriate right now, so we're going to get rid of it. So here's some of the laws. This is the original answer. Oh, she got sued, and we're going to get to that later. So here is, and we're going to get to this later. And so here is, I'm going to need you right now. So here's state law. And state law says an attorney, right? If you file a complaint against an attorney with the state law, all they get is either a reprimand, they get a suspension, they go on probation. And that's why when she was reported on criminal charges and the district attorney's office said in Dallas to file a complaint with the state judicial board, and then gave an authorization to sue her in civil court, not back in family court, in civil court. This was the Dallas District Attorney's Office directions. So we're going to talk about that. So here's the misconduct here. And then I'm going to explain how she got all this money. So misconduct by Texas disciplinary rule of professional conduct to maintain the integrity of the profession of attorneys. If a lawyer shall not violate these rules, knowingly assist or induce another to do so, or to do so through the act of another, whether or not such violation occurs in the course of a client-lawyer relationship. So this dismisses immunity from lawyers. You cannot break the law. You cannot file over excessive claims to defraud and to extort and to embezzle money, even if you're into a client-lawyer relationship. There is no immunity for it. Commit a serious crime or commit any other criminal act that reflects adversely on the lawyer's honesty, trustworthiness, or fitness as a lawyer in other respect. Now, in my previous videos, I talked about, can you sue a lawyer? And the answer is yes. And these are some of the criteria. And it says, engage in conduct, constitution, obstruction of justice. She did that. State or imply an ability to influence improperly a government agency or official. I have to look into that. Knowing, well, okay, so violate any disciplinary order of judgment, fail to timely furnish to the chief disciplinary. Okay, so we're going to what she's going to be charged with. So this is misconduct. It's 8.04 misconduct disciplinary, Texas disciplinary rules of professional conduct. Okay, so we got rid of that. So here's another one. And I'm still getting to that $70,000 she got. So it says, rule number 404, respect of rights of a third-party persona. In representing a client, a lawyer shall not use means that have no substantial purpose other than to embarrass, delay, or burden a third party, or use methods of obtaining evidence that violates the legal rights of such a person. A lawyer shall not present, participate in representing, or threaten to represent criminal or disciplinary charges solely to gain an advantage in a civil matter. Through my case, the lawyer is responsible to the interest of his client is paramount, and it says the use of threats, the use of criminal proceedings, which she's now involved in, by the way. She's now involved in this. Go to jail or give up your house. So anyway, this is what's happening. So here's how the lawyer, and I'm just going to brief them because I really want to go over the case itself, and I want to match all these charges to the case and show you how she embezzled the money. The judge, Michael Snipes, who was a criminal assignment judge, he's not even nobody voted for him. He's just running around Dallas trying to get the chief judge to give him jobs so he can make a 29-hour quota to get $114,000 a year. So we're looking into all of his. Everybody is here trying to line their pockets in the judiciary. So here's how the lawyer got this money. So in the beginning, when she saw the big chunk of money that she wanted hidden, and she saw the three little things, that's all she had to do. Look, we've got some furnitures, we just want that. We got 3 cats, but what they did was, when she did the appraisal of a client, she left out 2 of the cats that was owned in community property. which is another violation of law, and they had to fight over that. So once you removed the 2 cats and gave them to the parents, which is illegal to do so, you cannot take property, which was what these cats is, and give them to family member to hold, and then says there's only one you're fighting over. So that was illegal in itself for self. So every 5 minutes, there was a text coming into the husband. Text. I mean, every other day, a text. We got to come back to court. Text. We want this. Text. We got to come to court. We need a hearing. We need an injunction relief. We need to cut off the electricity. We need to do this. And the judge, he posted this on social media. Hey, bud, constant harassment, constant stalking, constantly doing these things that is illegal, because Texas law forbid harassing and stalking people and using it in a legal proceeding. And that's what this lawyer was doing to provoke the judge. Hey, judge, he posted this on social media. Hey, judge, he posted this on social media. This was to Judge Michael Snipes, criminal court judge. But she started way back with another judge called Leona Bernard, who told her, do not bring up anything in this case other than what the case is. Family case. It's a simple case. It's a division of property. But this lawyer kept filing stuff. And to some point, the husband was so stressed out that the doctors sent a letter to get 2 months away from the case. But then she even uses that to say he's filing all these things and filing all of these things. And he's like, and then she attacks him another way, saying, he doesn't want to come to court. And if he doesn't want to come to court, then we need to file this and file that. So it's clearly this lawyer was constantly looking for litigation, And every time the husband filed a motion to defend himself and protect his rights and say, hey, this is wrong, I need a motion for this, she adds on more money. She adds on more money for the response. She adds on $400 to call the client. She adds on $400 to send an email, and $125 to respond to this and to write this. And she kept on overly charging. But the judge is the one who was supposed to look at her and says, do we really need you to come to court so many times? I mean, all we have is a division of property, some cats, and a house. That's it. Why are we constantly running into court? But you know why Judge Michael Snipes didn't say that? Because he makes his money by also coming to court. If this court case had gone through the process, which it did, it went through the automatic system, it got to Judge Mary Brown, and they took it from Mary Brown and gave it to him so he can make money. And the lawyer and the judge was in cahoots. The more we come to court, the more you help me come to court. We both make money. You get to make your hours. I get to overcharge. Now, if there was no $800 to $1 million today, this lawyer would have ended this case in 2 months and said, look, settlement is she's got no money, you've got no money. Here's the thing, you both go your ways. You sell a house, you get 50 of the equity, you get 50 of the equity. That's what would have happened. But here's another thing that happened, and I just pulled a transcript. And I am responding to a judge in district court about this. So on the witness stand, the spouse was asked a question. Do you know how much the lawyer is charging, what they're charging for? And she goes, no. And that's crucial. That's very, very key, that question. And the fact the spouse says, no, I don't know, I don't ask any question. The lawyer just bills me and sends it to me. Very crucial. So now the spouse has given the lawyer, Victoria Warner, an open blank check. So if she's got about $1 million hiding, and she's saying, okay, I just wanted to get rid of him, help me hide this money, embezzle it out, and I'll pay you $70,000 to do that, she still walks away with about $930,000. So it's still a big win for her. So jack up what you need to jack up, charge what you need to charge, just get him, right? But you know, in a divorce, when a woman turns evil, you don't ask why. You just know these women do that, certain type of woman, and you don't fight it. You fight it. You don't know why she got wicked, you just that. But I know there's some other things involved, but that's too personal to talk about. But the lawyer and the spouse got into cahoots, and I'll tell you how. That question and that answer, and when you look at the final decree that was signed on December 20th, I think, of 2024, it says that when the house is sold, right? So remember, the spouse says that, I don't know what she's charging. She just charges and sends me a bill. Who does that? Who gives a lawyer an open check to do stuff like that? Unless the lawyer can file a motion to block the audit and get the judge to agree. No audit. We're hiding that money. We're taking that money and embezzling it from him. But what they don't know is district court has authority in tort claims. And I think I have that open here. So tort claims is different from family claims. And I wanted to show that when you apply to district court for a tort. Here we go. So I know I'm jumping ahead here a bit, but this is an application for a tort claim in district court. When you file for district court, they ask you, what do you file for? And if it's tort claims, it goes to a district court judge. It does not go back to family court, because family court has no jurisdiction to rule over tort claims, and there are laws over that. So I just wanted to throw that in there. I'm going to try to go going soon. So anyway, the spouse made a deal with the lawyer. And that's why that question, do you know how much she's spending, and are you authorizing anything? And she says no. So here's the deal that Victoria Warner made with the spouse. Let me charge up all this stuff, right? And I know you got $1 million. You can pay the $70,000 just in case. But since the judge we pissed off the judge against him. He's pro se. He's a minority. This judge is a white Southerner. We're white. We already got favor. The judge is going to give us whatever we want. Okay? We already denied him attorney's fee. And we got it for money for attorney's fee. So we already know the judge is biased against it, but we're going to get what we want. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to jack up all the fees. When the house is sold, how much is the house being sold for? Well, he's going to get $60,000. You're going to get $60,000 to $70,000. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, in the decree, jump in there that you're going to get your $70,000 from the sale of the house. So you're not losing anything. But we're going to take his $70,000 and roll it into my attorney's fee. So you don't pay anything. So let me jack it up. Let me jack up their fees as much as I can. And that's what happened. So the spouse now doesn't have to pay attorney's fee, because in the decree they snuck it in there. Now Michael Snipes, he doesn't read crap. He's just going by emotions. You give me something, it's about this guy, I'll just sign it because I hate him. Don't like him. So just give me something and I'll sign it. So the attorney created this decree. This judge didn't create it, but the judge didn't read it. Now, when you do a decree, you have to quote laws, like you quote the family law. You know, in the standing order, number 407, we have a right to a lot of attorney's fee, which they don't. It bars that. In the Texas Family Law Code, Section 1, it says we're entitled to get the whole house in case the husband cheats or whatever, or abuse the wife. But the problem with that is, the spouse was asked on the witness stand, did the husband ever hurt you? No. Beat you? No. Threaten you? No. No harm whatsoever. So what is the reason for the divorce? You go back to that, there's nothing. She just want to run off. That's how this lawyer was jacking up the fees, provoking the husband constantly. You have to do this and you have to do that and you have to file that. All those communications were $400. When all that needed to happen was the judge didn't do a formal trial. I don't know what a formal trial scheduling is. You have to do a formal trial scheduling. And a formal trial scheduling, you have dates. The dates is all discovery is done on this day. Right? Pre-trial conference is done on this day, and all discovery must be done on this time, and then there's trials. So that's 4 days. This woman kept piling on all kind of stuff, and even though the doctor says the husband cannot be involved in litigation, the husband consistently said, I don't want to be in litigation. I don't want to do this. I don't want to go through that. And then you can hear the spouse, the attorney saying, oh yeah, he doesn't want to come to court. He doesn't want to do this. In an admission that he wasn't filing all this stuff. But yet, the lawyer did 2 vexatious claims against the husband that was a lot of money. filing those vexations, getting hearing for it is jacking up motions, and $400 to this and $400 to respond and $400 for this. And that's where the money keeps piling up. $2,000 for court appearance, another $3,000 for a trial. And then they brought in their parents. And what was the trial about? The cat. Took 2 cats, and then they're fighting over pushing for the last cat that belongs to the husband. And they got everything because the judge doesn't care. So I'm going to go into details day by day how the lawyer was able to go through every $400 on this thing. I mean, it's just unfreaking believable. And here you go, $400. Look at that. And these are pages and pages. A simple divorce of a couch, an armoire, and a desk, a few other things, 3 cats, and the house to be sold. But the husband did not want the house to be sold. He wanted to pay her off for the equity, but no. Another thing is the judge and the lawyer was working together. They did not want to sell, to give the husband the right to pay her off for her equity, which would have been a loan for $70,000. Give it to her. The house now belongs to the husband, right? So what happened was they needed that husband $70,000 to pay the attorney, which is illegal. So basically, this attorney now owns half of the house based on this decree. I now own half of the house because that money, the judge says, is mine for attorney's fee. So what did the husband do that she gets to do the decree on everything? She's running around. She's breaking vows. She's violating every oath there is that she swore to, and running out, and he's doing nothing. He's just trying to live his life, get his stuff together, but she gets to sell the house. She gets her to equity. She gives the lawyer her $70,000 equity, and he gets nothing. Nothing. And that $1 million is still hidden. So that's how lawyers jack up fees, constantly filing motions, constantly harassing, constantly trying to get things in court, and then denying and moving it aside. And I'm going to show you really, really how this money came about. In any analysis from a family court judge, or any judge would have looked at this case and says, this case, if anything, is valued at $5,000, the highest maybe can avoid a trial, because in the trial, and I didn't have the transcript with me right now, it's downstairs in my office, the lawyer was asked, why did you jack up all this fee? Why didn't you just settle this case in the beginning? And you know what her excuse was? I was afraid of the husband. Really? You're afraid of the husband whose spouse just admitted he never hit her, never threatened her, never committed any violence? That's who you're afraid of? No, it was just an excuse as to why she had to jack up all these fees. And why didn't you do a settlement and make a settlement offer in the beginning of this case? Because she saw the $1 million. She saw how she can roll it in. She couldn't get it, if she got a good judge, an honest judge, the spouse would have had to pay that. But because you get a corrupt, bad judge, and he's mad at me because I said he was corrupted, it doesn't matter, because he's going to try to do damage anyway. And the husband happened to have been me. Yes, I went through this so you can learn. And the only reason I'm telling you this is to teach you, not to get into my business, but to teach you and to show you the corruption that is in the judicial system, and how lawyers can violate every rule and get so much money and get away with it. Embezzling, defrauding, filing illegal motions. The judge had told her, you cannot file a vexatious claim against a defendant who the husband is. And she still did it. That's a lot of money there. And she went to court on it. And then she came back and did another vexation for more money. And then she went back after she got sued in district court and did a vexation claim there. And then she came back again and did another excessive filing. Now, I think it's Rule 801, and it specifically said a lawyer cannot file frivolous cases that is unfounded and has no meaning to it. And this lawyer, Victoria G. Warner, consistently did it, and so far had gotten away with it. So, Went to the prosecutor's office. Prosecutor's office says you're entitled and authorized to file a civil suit. She was sued in district court. Family, and the judge is trying to bring it back to district court, but unfortunately, a tort claim, family law court is not allowed to rule over tort claims. It's illegal. And they brought back 2 cases to them, which they got to answer to. This is the second time she's sued. So the first time Victoria Warren was sued, she sent a 2-page letter to the judge, another judge. And the judge rejected it 3 times and says, this is not how you answer. This is not how you answer this. A page letter is not an answer. A general denial is not an answer. You got to answer each one of the causes. And she went into default. Come back to this judge, even though she was told she can't do this, she filed it again, a 1-page answer. It's denial of stuff. Meanwhile, she's back in family court filing all kind of stuff still. Now she's filing for criminal charges, violating the decree, even though it's in the appeals court, and you lose plenary powers over anything in the trial court. They're still doing it. So now we're trying to get the district court to get involved and says, they're still not answering you. They're still doing illegal stuff over there, and somebody has to step in. And this woman got $70,000 out of a simple divorce because she knew all the tricks. She knew her 33 years experience, how to spin it, how to provoke, how to constantly file this and file that and file this, because she saw the pocketbook of the spouse and she saw it as a cash cow, promising the spouse, don't worry, I'll spin in my attorney's fee into the sale of the house so you don't have to worry about it. And if you do, you got $1 million. So I can do that. I know how to spin it. But she made one mistake. She went up against a publisher who goes after public corruption and knows how to execute laws against this kind of stuff. Now, another pro se litigant don't know how to go up against somebody like this because they're not trained how to explain laws. As a publisher, I know how to explain laws. I know how to, put the law to the story, and whether or not the judge made the right decision, the lawyer made the right decision, or they were just manipulating the process. I know this. And through all of this, I sued her. She's in district court. She's trying to run. She's still making mischief over there. Why? Because she's getting money. She's pushing that case, getting money. And then she put in the degree for herself, for her personal self, I can't sue her. I can't sue her. Why? Because she knew what she did was wrong. She knew what she did was wrong, was illegal, and she tried to get family court to put a stipulation that I'm not allowed to sue her because her favorite judge, Michael Snipes, is going to punish me if I sue her. Well, she got sued before the decree was signed. She can't get out of that one. So we're going to sue that a family court judge, we have a new complaint coming, cannot tell a district court judge what tort claim could be filed against them. They have no authority over it. She already has no authority. Why would a lawyer use the divorce court to say, bar him from suing me if you did nothing wrong? Because she knows what she did. I just happened to catch her, and I just happened to record all this stuff. So I just wanted to put a little bit of that out. And and there's a lot of work. We already did a motion for a default judgment on what she did, but it's a lot of work getting the evidence to match it. We have to go through a lot of history, about a year and a half of history, pulling this, pulling that, to show the judge, look, she's saying that the husband keep pulling all of this, but then you have a doctor's report saying that the husband didn't want to come to court. It was so emotional stress. A doctor from the hospital said this, give the husband a break. He doesn't want to come to court. Yet she has a motion for vexatious litigation that the husband is filing all this stuff. So it doesn't make sense what she's filing. She's just doing this to get more litigation so she can get more money. In addition to that vexatious stuff, what the case in the district court against her is that we know that she's in default, so we don't have to explain a lot of stuff to the judge. We don't have to try a case in a default. We just have to prove the damages. And once I believe that the judge sees the medical report from the doctor saying you're killing this guy, you're stretching him out. And do you know who testified as in the legal expertise of the husband should not be given a 2 months relief? She did. She did. She testified that she's a nurse. Now she's the defendant, the part of the other side. So she's a party to the action basically because her intent is to win for her client. And she's testifying, oh no, his anxiety doesn't affect this, doesn't affect his diabetes. Oh no. You can't testify if you're a party and helping the other side win. Your purpose is to help your side win. And you are the expert witness? It doesn't make that's a whole different violation by itself that voids everything she's doing. So we have to take all that evidence and present it to a judge. And she's sued for some money into damages. And I'm not going to say exactly what she sued for because we have to file it on server first. But I think we're in a good place with that. And I think the Texas District Court tort claim trumps family court. They can't really interfere with the district court. And there's a lot of laws on that, and we're already presented. But I just want to show you how these lawyers work. And nobody challenges them. And she is going to the state bar. The state bar is just going to slap on the wrist. The state judicial bar is not going to do anything. It's going to say, yeah, well, she did this, she jacked it up. Her client told her to do it. Whatever excuse they find, lawyers and judges get a get out of jail free card. The State Judicial Board of Conduct is useless. The State Board of for Attorneys, a bar association, is useless. They only take on cases when it's not political for them. And that's why Texas Justice Review is here, to make sure we keep an eye and a list of all the bad judges, of all the bad attorneys. And so when you have a case and you know they have antics like this woman, you know what to expect. You watch for her jacking up fees. And you might not get a nasty, biased, prejudiced judge like Michael Snipes, he's not voted into office. He's assigned. These are the most dangerous judges. When they're assigned and they feel they have no authority judging them, they do whatever they want. They have immunity. They do whatever they want. They're lawless. You can't touch them. No judge should ever have this kind of power over someone. No judge. And she knew that. If she provoked the judge enough, she gets what she wants. And it was successful until now. This is Serrano. Nothing here should be taken as legal advice. Please check the laws. Use your AI and other. Speak to a lawyer. Go to legal aid. You can figure this out. I don't care if you're pro se. The truth should also always matter before tactics and antics. The truth, a judge should always look for the truth. And if a judge is not looking for the truth, we will find them personal. And I've got a list of some bad judges we're going to keep up in the public. And I'm going to give you a few. Judge Michael Snipes, the Chief Judge Ray Wheelers, Judge Kim Cooks, and I'm going to tell you how she's now an assignment judge and what she did to get there, which was illegal, right? Judge Monica Prudy of the 95th Court, Judge Janice Garcia of the Justice in the Appellate Court. All these judges are involved in wrongdoing, and we have the proof to show it. One of the things I learned as a publisher, make sure you have proof, make sure you can show it, and match it to the laws they should have been following when they did not. This is Serrano Keith Balvio. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.
And you're left to fight each battle alone. Hear the call, feel the fire ignite. Texas Justice Review stands for your right. The truth, but we'll break their disguise. No more running, no more compromise. We'll light the torch and it shines through the night. Texas Review brings